Okay, so let me see if I can. Wrong one. Okay. So this is kind of a step by step. So, and this time we don't have to manual so much because we can use our skull to be a baseline. And I just want to show you the step. We separate all the parts. Now, you don't have to do separate like this. Later on, when you do your project one, you could just start it from one, but from one shape, and then you just use data mesh to increase the section, sculpt it. I want to show it this way because it's much easier and easy to modify the part before you combine them and touch it up like this, because you might want to change the shape of the eye, so easier to change when it's separated. If it's become a single surface, that's kind of there's a lot of things you have to concern about, like how to reposition it, how to scale it down, things like that. Okay, so all right, we're gonna get started. And there is a reference file that I put for you to download it. It's inside weekly lecture, week 2, day 1. So now this is just 2 files, but inside the zip file you have a little more. So basically we just want to see the proportion. This is from a how did I forget his name again? God, sorry, I apologize. I forgot his name. He's really famous. It's just because his proportion is similar than Bridget Riley. Bridget Riley is another person that really popular on his drawing method. And so now when you look at on the, let's see if I can so same thing when we work with a skull, you divide it into 3 sections. So 1 section, 2nd section, 3rd section. Now the section, it started from a baseline of the hair, not the top of the head. The top of the head is about 1/3 of it, or you can do half of it, that's fine, like half of the section. And on the side you can see it's about 2 sections, so it's about 3 sections including ear, because ear, let's do half. It's actually less than half. Now you don't have to measurement these exact. These are a concept design only. So you kind of estimate it, and it just gives you a container or the guide or the road to walk into it. That's all. And now on the mouth spot, we talk about that a little bit. You can do like right here to be half section. On this method, it's divided into 3 sections, but sometimes it gets so confused because 3 is right here. Like really below the surface that the mouth are connect right there. So just right here, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So now some people do half. It's just modification of it, and it looks right. So it's half. You can do half at the base of the lip or the lowest of the lip, and then you do another half in the upper of the lip. So some people might say this kind of a modification of this method become a 4 quarter. So you can divide it from 4 quarters and such. Now the eye though, you kind of try to do in the direction that one eye width. Second, so total of 5 basically. So 5, like 5 size of eye. So see from the ear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now this will help you when you do like cartoon or whatever stylizes. You got some kind of structure allow you to kind of put the landmark on that. Okay. Now when you look at on the side, can you see? It's try to divide it into 3 again. However, they're not fit exactly 3. So you can think of from here to there, let's do half, and starting with the ear. The ear, the bottom of the ear is the same level of the bottom of the nose. And the top of the ear is about the brow. Not the eyebrow, the brow right there. So, and now when you look at it, 1, 2, 3, the section from the line 1 is right on the brow. Now, what about this? You can do a quarter to the center, or you can count from there to here, like the top of the head, not the hairline. The hairline is just for the front facial here. It becomes a middle of that. So if you just remember all of those, it's not that too complicated. So you can do freehand drawing of the head. Quite easy, actually. Okay, so now, how can we start with this? I'm gonna clean my screen. Oops, wrong screen. Here we go. Let me clean up. And I did not save my. Did I save it? Hold on. Save my preference because we have a bunch of a brush underneath it. So it's okay, we're gonna do it again. So first, I want you to load. People who have the skull, just load your skull. We're gonna use that to be underneath, to put it underneath of our model. That's why we built the skull, because we wanted to, and I want you to understand the structure of the skull because that's important. So let me go to C2. Oh wait, this is not the one that I needed. Hold on. One moment, sir. Let me copy the file again.
Are you able to upload like a quick skull reference so that we can still follow along for those of us who don't have?
You don't have to use it. Oh well, hold on. How about use my old skull, because I want you to, I mean, I don't want to give you a skull because you will not build it. That's the thing.
Oh no, I was just meaning like for today to follow along.
For today, yeah, I'll give you some. Hold on, one moment. Is it mine?
You'd be able to tell the difference between my skull and your skull.
Right, because
Because my skull is kind of funny.
oh,
You just got it.
I will give you one moment. One moment. Let me organize my file quick. Z2, C2, WK02, and let me look at on the skull. That this might be okay. Hold on. That looks too. Oh no, that's too late, right? How about that? Okay, so I have to give you the number 3 then. Okay, I will put my tab skull number 3B. under class stuff. There we go. Oh, hey guys. Sorry, I almost forget. I should look at on. Oh, Tyler, you haven't put your file in it. Tyler, you want to put your file inside?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I put for people who want. Now I am score 3B. So, but I encourage you, if you copy it, you need to build it. So, okay, let me load my tool. Okay, so this is the one that I did. So just roughly, I didn't do any much detail at all, and I use only mouse to work on this because I know for people who are not are online, you won't be able to use a tablet. Now, for tablet, it still respond your tablet though on the Amazon app. However, the pressure sensitive would not work there. So, is there anybody able to use tablet at home with the Amazon app with pressure sensitive? Anybody? You guys online? No? Okay. So now after you have a score, this will be a reference. So I'm gonna delete some of them and I'm gonna merge all of them together because we're not working on this one right now. So now I'm gonna merge down, yeah, and so this is gonna be just a reference. So first you're gonna start it to add a geometry. So just insert as usual and see sphere, and then you're gonna Dynamash this as low as possible, not high detail, because we wanted to form the shape. So now we're going to work on the top part of the head, the frontal. Let me, one moment. I'm gonna leave that. Okay, so now we're gonna under sub 2 you can turn on transparency so that you can see the skull. Under the sub 2 can be on top, it doesn't matter, but you're on the skull, on the new surface. I'm gonna press S, change the brush size, hold shift and soften it. Now it might, hold on, I haven't Dynamashed them. Okay, click Dynamash and just leave it as is. So for this project, don't forget to enable a symmetry. Sorry, here we go. So go ahead, form this. Start off with a simple shape on the top of the skull. The parietal on the back side and forehead is frontal bone. Okay. So use move tool. You can press B on your keyboard and press M, choose move. Now, while we're working, maybe let's review it again how to, let me move this, see if I can move this away. Here we go. how to put the shortcut to the bottom part of this. Okay, so you go to Preference, Configuration, Enable Customize. We're going to put a brush on the side here. So I'm going to just have to review it because I forgot to save mine. So now the move brush, you don't want to move only this part. This big icon, when you click on it, it brings up the brush palette. You don't want to grab that to here. You want the small one. Control Alt, middle mouse drag and drop. Let me collapse this. Here we go. And we want clay buildup, of course. Drop it. Control Alt, standard brush. We use it often. No need for smooth. Now, if you remember Trim Dynamics right here, you can press T if you like. Trim Dynamics. Let's load it up there first, and then inflate. You can use magnifying too. Slightly different. Inflate is create a little more it's not kind of blow up in the like from center out. It's just slightly different. It's using fall off, but it just push. I don't know if people from online can see my hand. It pushed like this, like pull it. So it's slightly different. So you can use both of them if you like. Crease is pinch. So we want pinch. So I'm gonna start it to drop it in. There we go. Control Alt, Trim Dynamics. You really need it to kind of scrape off the surface. Now one more is a edge polish, because it's similar to Trim Dynamics, but it's trying to maintain corner or edges. So that you can really do a sharp corner, stuff like that. And move topology is another thing we should have it. Move topology. Okay. Because so that it follow the topology, it doesn't follow the volumes or these the volumes, surface volumes.
Should we have a standard down there also?
Yes. So Damien standard brush or dam. Yeah. So there we go. And move infinite might be the one we should use too, because sometimes you might want to move all the way perpendicular to the camera. So, and there is a few more, but I don't remember at this moment. It will come back. So this is good enough. Collapse this part. We don't want to save that section. Now, you might need to rearrange this a little bit. Like for example, let me move, pinch. I'm gonna organize, move close to move. So I'm gonna move infinite, and then I'm gonna put standard brush and Damien close to each other, because actually the Damien standard brush is modification of the standard. And now trim and clay buildup, we're gonna put it close to there. And inflate. Where's my edge polish? That's what I miss. So let me bring edge polish close to Trim Dynamics. There we go. So for now, and when you're ready, File, Preferences, Disable, Enable, Customize, and then Store Configuration first. Yes. And then you save it. save UI. So I'm going to put my name on it. So read, go to, oops. I'm going to override that one. Here we go. Okay. All right. So now we're ready. Go ahead, move. You don't have to use move topology at this point. Here we go. Just try to make it a little cover from, I think my proportion on the frontal of the parietal bone, this section are too long. So, because what you can think of it, you remember from here to about jaw, halfway. That's it. You can use your finger and measurement on directly to the screen. Now I can see it. Mine just right here. Here we go. And just remember, like in real life, I mean, not in real life, just only in real life, they all have a different shape anyways, but we're gonna do like this for now. So now, with the structure, these are not round exactly. You should trim on the side. And let's see if, look at on the, one moment. I'm going to show you the reference that I give it to you. The question is, where did I put it? Oh, no, that's a wrong one. Sorry guys, I'm a little slow today. Reference, here we go. So, look at this one. Here we go. So, I want you to trim off the side. So it look a little flat on the temple. So you could use hold Control Shift. You enable selection geometry. I want you to change to clip curve. Just clip it off. Using clip curve again. There we go. And after you click to select, turn on symmetry, so that is easier. And then you just clip it. Here we go, like that. So, doesn't have to be exactly like mine, just about average. And now I kind of leave this, can you see? I want the muscle and skin to wrap around on the psychomatic from the temple and psychomatic there. So that's why I trim like that. Okay. And at this moment, you might want to using a trim dynamics or clay buildup to start it to build this section, just roughly. Here we go. And you just smooth. I think I smoothed too much when you hold shift. Reduce a little bit so that it won't flatten everything too quick. Here we go. So I kind of want to have a brow to show up. And don't worry about the detail. Now, trim dynamics, I'm going to have to reduce because I am not using pen. I'm using mouse. So I have to reduce. Now, with the mouse, the problem with this is this. When you use a tablet, when you press, let's say the distance between one unit, you press it. When it's 0.1, you press it harder. So it's, let's say if I set to 7, it will go 7. When you press it lighter into 0.2, we'll reduce it to 6, something like that, right? Now with mouse though, what you need is, you need to do kind of each step. Stop, and then reduce, and then touch it again. I know it's a little tedious, but It's just the way it is with the mouse. So can you see I keep coming and reduce, and then now I can soften it. So that's how it works with the mouse. It's not fun, but if you don't have any choice, you have to do it. So now I want you to kind of scrape this area, changing the angle, because I want you to scrape the eye socket to kind of slide in. If I turn off, you can turn on solo. Can you see it will look like this? So I want you to scrape it, or you can use a clay buildup to fill it. Here we go. Now I got to start it really light because I have a heavy hand too. There you go. Like by reducing the intensity. There we go. So soft, and then you can use trim dynamics to scrape it off. Okay, might need to. So basically, we are building, kind of prepare this section. I mean, if I do cut, can you see I can do that too? That might be easier for now. Just slide it, trim it off like that, and make it flat. I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit. Oh, I know. What happened is on the top, we forgot to look at on the top. Here we go. These part of the frontal bone are smaller. If you remember, let me disable solo. Can you see? For my skull. So you're gonna have to bring it, narrow it. There we go. So now, once again, when you do on your own, like in the future project, if you don't have this skull, you don't have to start it from the actual skull model. You could just go ahead, sculpting it. However, the reason that I make you do that, because so that you understand the placement of the head, the landmark, things that you need to look. Here we go. So can you see I can narrow it down? I'm gonna shrink this section. And then we're gonna have to fill it up later, but when we do this way, we kind of like make a mark that, okay, the temple and the eye socket, this will control the flow of your skin later. Yes?
How did you get it to symmetrically cut? Because like mine's not doing it.
Oh, you need to turn on a, did you turn on a symmetry?
When I do the control shift to do the cut,
Yeah.
it shows up on the other side of the skull, but as soon as I go to do the cut, it goes away.
It's not like this. Can you look? No, it doesn't do like that.
No.
Maybe your shape are not on the center then.
Well, and that's the other thing, is like whenever I made the circle and was expanding it, the symmetry's on, but it doesn't expand it evenly, even from when it was at the beginning.
That's strange. Hold on. Can you?
Like, so this is when I created it, and
Okay, try it. Did you turn on Dynamash? Geometry. Okay, good. Okay. And you need to be really on front. So hold Shift key and rotate until you snap to it. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Hey guys, how about this? Can you turn off perspective view quick? Okay, try that. Doesn't have to be big, the geometry. Oh, no, the brush. Go ahead, try to trim it. Yep. Then oh, you get to turn on a symmetry. Here we go.
so like it's right there. It says that it's on. When I hit X, everything changes.
Really?
Yeah, because like it's right here.
Yeah. Oh no, turn it on. Did you turn on? Okay, try it again.
It shows up, but then as soon as I go to do the cut,
We have two of them. Can you create a new one? Just delete that. And then new. Okay. Now convert it first. And use the brush size. It doesn't have to be big. The brush size. You can press S and then you can change that. Make it small. Okay, go ahead. That's weird. Can you restart the program? Oh, can you do control drag? Quick? Control drag. Okay, try again. Try to cut again. Nope. Something not right.
cause like
It works
works
on
fine,
the
yeah.
hey, that's weird. There must be some key preference that you turn off or something. It looks like a mask, but it's not. Can you control shift again and then click on that? Oh, you have to be on click, not trim. Click. Here we go. Yes. Okay. I thought that click would work with both mirror too, but it's
Whenever I went to like Monday and they actually like, do this, I guess it's building up on goal line.
right.
So, like,
Okay. Can you undo that? Like, and go to transform.
It's like what that's sticking out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's
In this case, let's try this. Go to geometry power.
I mean, I think so.
Oh, deformation. Sorry,
I
deformation.
mean, it's not like a perfect circle.
Oh,
It's like-
down. And then let's try use. Okay.
Singapore or have a good time right now either.
No.
Yeah, reality sucks, dude.
Did you import this model from somewhere? Why is this not? How about this? Okay. Go to the mirror section under deform, and then can you just mirror? Mirror on
Yeah, you wanna see my mouse?
X, yes, one mirror.
Kinda
Okay, now
chopped off
go
around
to
like you did. Like I did.
geometry.
Yeah,
Go to geometry, and
Just
then
kinda pushed it
mirror and wheel.
like against the wall, and then you
wheel.
shove that down and go down.
Under modify topology. Modify. Mirror and view.
I don't know if that's right.
Here we go. Now try it. Yes. Oh no. But it's not exact. Can you see? Can you read that imagine? Read that imagine. Under geometry. Okay, try it. And now control drag. And try to smooth it. Yeah, it's still kind of weird. It doesn't look like they have the same sample. I have to look at that. So in this case, what you might need to do, you mirror it, like what I did. So paint on the left, and you mirror it, mirror. So, okay guys, come back. So, I'm gonna trim it, clip it even more. It just because I wanted to make it look more stylized first. I should have do that. Gonna just cut like crazy deep. Here we go. Okay, I'm doing. Oh, that's too far. let me move first. Okay. Now I'm not going to cut it. I'm gonna just move it like this. Simpler. And then I'm gonna trim, flatten it out. There we go. All right. So something like this, guys. It's just because we want to have to see the depth of the eye socket. So, and if I look at on the side view, I'm going to turn on a polyframe so that I can see a little better. So I want to make sure that these parts are, oops, using move again, are low enough, kind of until it touches the cheek, the zygomatic, just like that. And then you can insert another sphere, or you can duplicate this and reform them to the whole body of the jaw and the face, just one straight line. So I could insert so that I don't have to sculpt too much. So I'm gonna insert a cube. You can do slender too, but I'm gonna use cube because I think it's more appropriate, more easier. And then under, let me turn off a polyframe. Under geometry, turn on Dynamesh again. Just leave it default setting, except you can turn off smooth, because smooth will keep smoothing basically. And at this point, using scale to reposition it. Okay. Scale and reposition. And you could do even angle like this, because we can actually separate, oh no, just do like kind of straight line like this. Can you see? I just want to kind of match the proportion on here, and the end I just pick only on the bottom of the eye socket basically. And now you can squeeze it a little bit. I'm gonna make this part a little bigger on the top and then narrow on the bottom. And so I'm gonna just use move infinite to help. Let me turn on X, turn symmetry on again. Here we go. And I'm gonna just move infinite for now. Let's see. I am using mouse. There we go. And then you kind of soften. This time you might have to soften a lot. Now, if it takes so much time, let me solo, to soften it with this, you might want to reduce the Dynamesh to like even lower. I'm gonna do like a 70. And touch it up, and then re-Dynamesh so that it's rougher. Can you see? You will have a easy time to smooth everything quicker. And then you can bring it back to the same, to a 128 on the resolution again. Here we go. So yes.
How did you grab just the points with the move infinite?
You just move your brush like right somewhere. Can you see like the center of the brush? And then you just move. Like, here. Can you see? Just like make sure the center are to wherever you want it to move. So that's the key. Okay. And now you just, the reason that we use a move infinite, because we want to move the front part and the back part exactly same. Now you can definitely able to use only move tool. Will give that effect too. It just move infinite. It just make it started quicker, that's all. So, and I'd like you to make sure on the top part here, finish at the starting on the at the top of the jaw line, basically. So let me reduce my. I want to scrape off. Okay. And now, let me solo again. Look like this. So scrape off. I try to work on kind of jawline. Give a little more definition on it. Trim dynamics. It will look a little strange at first. It will come together soon. So, and then smooth often, shift, because it's like I'm lazy to change the Z intensity. If I do, I would get a better shape right away, but it's just because I'm just keep using the same and then route. Can you see? I just pick the area that the angle that I wanted to subtle scrape off, and then use different setting of the intensity when I wanted to do like really hard cut. So here we go. This section, here we go. So that's all I'm trying to do, look like this. And I turn off perspective at the moment because so that I don't see distortion at the moment. And I gotta, here we go. Let me turn that off. So it look like this at the moment. Here we go. My jaw is a little too narrow. I think I'm gonna increase the. Hey guys, if you press O on your keyboard, it's a shortcut to reduce or increase the focal shift, the fall off. Basically, move. Okay. And okay. So now, if you get to this point, you could add maxilla shape. Let me narrow the cheek a little bit on the front. And then we're gonna add psychomatic shape later. So I kind of, I'm not going to form the chin either because it's gonna be separate. So add another cylinder. If you remember when we did with the skull, we did similar. Can you see? Save your scene. I forgot to save. Oh boy. Let me save quick. I'm gonna call a head 01 concept. Okay. Yes.
When I was shaping it, like going to smooth it, it like blocked this thing.
Oh, Control N to clean it. There we go. It's just because you do Shift S. Shift S is snapshot.
Okay.
And then it will stay. So Control N. Hey guys, another thing, there might be like this. Like for example, I want to use this as a reference and see what changed. Can you guys look at my screen quick? So I am moving my shape like this. I want to see and compare later when I sculpt later on. You can do this. Control S. Oh, sorry, Shift S. Shift S is a shortcut for snapshot. Can you see? It will stay on your background. Now to clear it, Control N, and you clear that snapshot, go away. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave my snapshot, Shift S, and then here we go. So to clear your snapshot, just Control N. To add snapshot, Shift S. So right now it looks like this. It's like this technique is exactly same technique when you really sculpt the clay or sculpting. If you want to do like scale model, things like that. It's just like this. You start off something like this. Now, I'm gonna add maxilla. So insert sphere again, and on the sphere, let's under geometry, turn on Dynamesh. I'm gonna reduce it because it's smaller shape, so that easy for me to kind of 56. Do 56 is half of it, like really low, and you might need to hold X key and soften it. My soft is, I want to soften a lot. Here we go. Hey. Okay, so my bad. 56 won't work, has to be 128. And I forgot to turn that off. Here we go. Okay. 56 is too rough. So scale it. You might need to turn on solo transparency so that you can see where you're going to place the location of it. There we go. Maxilla. You can bring up your your skull so that you can see. I don't need to do that. Here we go. So just like this. I mean, we build the maxilla. Hey guys, you might want to turn off ghost so you can still see kind of a little lighter transparency. Can you see right here this button, ghost transparency? If you turn it off, will reduce the ghosting effect. So this might be easier to see. It depends. Here we go. So it look like this. Okay. All right. And here we go. And you can, I'm gonna duplicate this maxilla to the chin. The chin is kind of a little bit of sphere looking also. So if I duplicate it, scale it down, here we go. And I might need to turn on because somehow it goes, oh, I know what happened. I turned off by accident. Here we go. Just move, squish it. So this will be a chin part. Here we go. Let me turn off goes. Will look like this, kind of like that. We are preparing. Okay. So now one more thing. I think I can start it to round the face a little bit. Hey guys, to activate the sub tool on the surface, you can hold Control Alt key, click on the shape. It will shift or jump to that sub tool. And I'm gonna round this section a little bit by scrape this angle off. Here we go. Gonna scrape it off a little bit. And I'm gonna smooth. I shouldn't do smooth too hard. Smooth. Here we go. And we don't have to, you might need to define the angle of the jaw a little bit. I can use clay build up and build up a little bit. Soften it, no detail. just roughly create a landmark, the important part of the skull structure. There we go. Okay. Now we can start it to create a little the nose bridge, but this time we are not going to do only the nozzle. We're gonna just do a abstraction of the nose. You can use a insert cube and you can Dynamesh it. Dynamesh, gonna reduce the blur, and I'm gonna take a break and let you guys catch up. So now scale it down. You might need to turn on transparency and goes. So I'm gonna create kind of nose shape basically. And then this time I'm going to turn on skull so that I can see the measurement. Here we go. Otherwise I have to really measure with the finger. So like this. And bottom of the nose, make sure right there, bottom of the nose. Can you see it right here? For now, okay. You see? Here we go. And I need to make adjustment on the maxilla. Where's my maxilla? I can't see it, so I have to bring it. If I can't see it based on the skull, I'm gonna bring it close to the skull. My maxilla, right there. Here you go. So I'm gonna move. Might need to angle a little bit. Here we go. All right. So if I turn off my skull, I can see it's like this. Actually, I need to move this up, make it slightly bigger. There we go. Okay. So save, Control Shift T. I'm gonna override the same name for now. So it should look like this. And then we're gonna add the psychomatic. And then we're gonna work on the placements of the ear. I think based on this, the nose can go a little further. There we go. Oop. I got to bring back my skull again one more time. Yep. Has to be right there. Okay. And hey guys, when you switch to move to W, right? To switch back to draw, you press Q. So we'll speed things up a little. There we go. So on the side, look kind of like this. I'll give you 10 minutes. See if you can get something similar. And if you look at on the profile, if I do click, can you see I try to make the line like this, like the placement of the top of the brow and the maxilla and the chin, just like this, a little angle down, so that it looks more natural, like when the head straight. Okay, so let me pause the video. I'll be back. I'm gonna go to bathroom. I'd like you to document it. So can you do some kind of similar layout like mine? Basically, when you move to this spot, you shift S, and then move and change the angle, shift S, come shift S, fourth shift S, and shift S. And then we're gonna save this screen capture. And I'm gonna show you, you don't have to use screen capture or snip tool. We can just grab this document and save as a file so that you can document it every time. And basically, I want you to submit this image for next week for the exercise 2. So exercise 1 is the skull. You can do the same screen cap with skull if you haven't applied. So now, I basically, let me do again, so that I can record this on screen. Here we go. So basically, I move, scale it down, place into the location I want it, shift S, and then I continue to do the next one. Different angle. Shift S. We want to see the top part of the head, the bottom part, the bottom angle, stuff like that, so that we can see the progress and detail. There we go. And then I can do big one here. Shift S. How about this? Let's do low angle, 45 degree. There we go. And Shift S. If you don't like the lighting, you can change your lighting a little bit so that we can see. Oh, I think the first one is good. So now Shift S again, even the last one, and then we're gonna grab this screenshot from ZBrush. Now to grab the screenshot on ZBrush, you go to Texture, grab Dog right here, this button. Under Texture menu, grab Dog. Grab it. You have to do screen capture, Shift S, otherwise it will grab nothing. So, and then now, can you see after I grab it, it's right here. So what you need to do is you click on it, and then you just choose Export, or you can just highlight it and export from here. So there are two ways, from here, or just highlight and then use this button. Now, change to JPEG, and I'm gonna save to, I'm gonna call progress. So X02 progress. Keep document it, and I'm gonna just call grab one or something like that. It's up to you. Maybe I should call head or grab. How about head? Add on it. Okay. And then now you still can crop them if you need to. Like, see, if you want to crop it so that it doesn't be too the file, so that you can crop the pixel that you don't want to show. There we go. And then you click OK. and it's in there.
Could you do that one more time? I missed the
Yep.
first step.
So do I need to do screen cap?
Yeah, the screen cap part.
So, okay, here we go. So basically, let's say I like that angle. I move it, Shift S, and then you just continue to move. How about that? Shift S, and let me change that. How about different angle?
Yeah, that's a good angle.
Yeah. Shift S. Pretend that's all I need. So, and I go to texture, grab dog.
Oh, okay.
You have to Shift S first, and then you can export. And export as a JPEG. It will allow you to trim it. Click. Okay. I forgot to rename it, but you got an idea. So, 2 more minutes. At this point, I want you to insert another sphere for eye socket, for eyeball. You need to have eyeball.
So once you do that,
So after you go to texture, you got it?
yeah.
Okay. So, insert another sphere for eyeball. There we go. Redata mesh. And press X because each data mesh has its own symmetry. And you might need to turn on transparency. So scale it down, smooth it. Don't forget about smoothing. Oop. Reposition. Okay. Gonna turn that back on. Gonna move it. So here we go. So that will be the eyeball. And I think I need to go a little further. My nose is too, what do you call it? It needs to go a little even higher. So, here we go. Okay, so the eyeball has to be a little more, same thing as, let me show you this. Basically, can you see, I want it, you need to make sure that it looks like this. The placement of the brow, eyeball, and maxilla and chin. It's kind of a little angle, a little slope. You want that. Okay, so undo, I'm not trimming. Here we go. Now, what about the size? How do we determine it? Basically, 5 eyeballs all across. You could do like this. If you hold, if with the move to, prepare to, no, we can't undo that, so don't do that. You could do like this. You duplicate these 5 times. I mean, I just try to show you like the more intuitive way to, well, to manual for the concept. So, hey guys, don't need to do it. Just watch, and then you use your finger to calculate. But I just want to show you the idea. So just watch on this part, okay? So I'm gonna duplicate 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. So now 1 in the center. I just eyeballing it. Yeah.
Huh.
Here we go. Okay. So now I can see that this one need to go. Oop. Here we go. So now I can keep these 2. So I can go here, delete, click. I just alt click, delete, and here. So basically, You just put the eyeball in right here. Actually, on the concept, it's right here, guys. Can you look at on my face right here? I did it wrong. I make it right there. It has to be on the ear. Well, how about this? Because ear, some people has bigger or smaller. Using the back side of the parietal bone on the back side, right here, this side, that edge. I think in this case, I probably have to scale this a little. No, you don't have to scale it. This is good enough. Well, sorry, I can't make up my mind. I'm gonna scale just a little bit. Here we go. So just a ball. Don't forget to save. Save often. And you might want to save into different stage too. I'm gonna maintain this for now. Okay. While waiting for everybody, I'm gonna touch up my nose to round it out a little bit. Trim adaptive. Try to use shortcut to reduce the size of your brush, the draw size. Just press S. Or is fall off. If you press space bar, hold space bar, you have more option to select. So that you don't have to move your cursor over focal shift and draw size. It's kind of slow you down. So, and I think on my nose, I'm gonna reduce the resolution. Let's do 80 so that I can smooth them quicker. No, have to be 50. Control drag, here we go. You can widen it, like widen the nose wing. Just prepare. X. Here we go. Okay. I think I could move the nose forward even more. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna increase 100. How about that? Yep. Hey guys, when you change the resolution, sometimes it won't update. You have to touch the geometry and then you control drag to update it. I could see that my maxilla can go a little more forward. That's better. Because when you look at on maxilla, I want your maxilla to kind of overlap to prepare for the nose, the nose of the wing of the nose. Let me see if I can go the image. I don't have it. Let me look at. Here we go. Right here, guys. I want you to, hey guys, on the maxilla. Can you look at it a little bit? The top of the maxilla, I want you to cover right here. The top of the wing of the nose. So you just need to move it up a little like that. Here we go. Because when we do that, we'll force you to show that part when you're sculpting it, when you sculpt the skin of the surface on top of it. It's kind of force you to do that. And actually, I could, oh, no. I haven't saved it yet. Sorry. Save. So, oh, again, cancel. W. I'm gonna scale it up a little bit because I also wanted to overlap to the chin. So let me, here we go. Like this. Okay, make it bigger now. Now, we're going to add a psychomatic. So that kind of forces us to build the cheekbone when we sculpt the whole thing. Okay. So, but before we do that, I forgot. Can you see on the brow? It has to look like this. Let me cut to show it to you. Here we go. You need to show, I make it a little high. You need to show that part, and this is gonna concave in a little. So it's like this. Let me move this part first. Right here. Just narrow it. We prepare for the frontal of our forehead. Okay. And this section is super obvious. It's too high. It should be right around. It's actually like some people who started to drawing, they do like this. They make it a really kind of a big circle there. I did a little too much. So here we go. Oh, I just want to scratch it right here. So it's kind of a, this is the brow, right? The brow will look like this. When if you remember, I was mentioned about it when we do skull, that there's a bone, there's a brow part. It's really brow, like it's look like this, like a V shape. And so now you kind of try to make it like, you know, just to show off that you understand the anatomy. And it will help you to kind of exaggerate them to define it. So I'm gonna kind of craft this with a trim dynamics, scrape it off a little bit so that it look like this. I'm exaggerating a little bit so that you can see it. Okay. So save again, and we're gonna build psychomatic. Now the psychomatic, you could just use cylinder or something like that, and then just squish it. I mean, you could even do a little shortcut by sculpting from here too. I mean, let's do that to do a little shortcut. So you just use a clay buildup and add. Oh, have to be on the this part. Just. Oh, I was on the sub, not add. So here we go. Here we go. Can you see? You just kind of add. A little bit. And we're going to touch up soon. Here we go. And then you just soften it. Changing angle, kind of get a little angle. Try to mimic the actual the bone, psychomatic bone. Don't worry about the skin surface yet. We want a landmark. So this might be too big. I'm gonna use a inflate but hold Alt key to shrink it. There we go. So that is look a little narrow. You can use move tool as a combination. Oh, I did not select the move tool. You need to look at on the bottom part so that it has, you have to look at three-dimensional. So, and mine is really low res right now. That's why it looks a little, let me read that a mesh, here we go. We don't need detail, we just want to get a landmark. So basically, I just building another skull, kind of. Here we go. So I exaggerate the feature a little bit so that you can see them. Here we go. Okay. And one more, I need to connect them. Psychomatic is connecting to the nozzle bone, so you got to get that label in, and see it's separate from the eye socket. Now when you have the psychomatic right this, when you add surface on it, it's kind of, if you look at on the side, it will, the surface on our chin, it will roll right here into the psychomatic and then kind of reversal touch to the bottom of the eyeball, and it become eyelid, part of the eyelid, the lower lid. The upper lid is basically wrapping around the brow bone, dropping into the socket cavity, the cavity of orbital cavity, and then wrap to the eyeball. So now when you know this structure, it will, when you do drawing, painting, or sculpting, it will make it looks more naturalistic, basically. And now this is another concept, guys. On the psychomatic, you can think of triangle. It's just like this, triangle, pointing down to the maxilla. So just a big kind of angle triangle. So basically, I should have increased the my segment now. Look like this. Let me increase the segment of this Dynamesh to, how about 180? When I type 180, it just changed to something 82. Let me reduce. Here we go. I think that's smooth enough. Can you see? Really smooth now. There we go. And this section, don't forget, you need to add a curvature. It's really important. Okay. I can smooth it out. And you could combine the chin and the face, the lower part of the face now, like these two, but don't combine the maxilla yet. Because maxilla, we're going to build the mouth first, so that the mouth are really wrapped to the maxilla. Because sometimes if you don't have the maxilla, you're going to make the mouth are flat looking instead of kind of wrapped to your face. And if you notice, it's like on the photo, real person or your face, when you do about 30 angle degree like this, you will see the kind of a foreshortening on this eyeball, the socket, and the cheekbone will wrap like this, and then has a mouth. So a lot of people who don't understand the jaw structure will miss this when you draw it. So there we go. So you will see that skinny person, you will see that really bone looking on here, and then concave it, and maxilla will really protrude. Or people who has a narrow jaw look different too. So you could move this section of the face a little bit, because you can make it on the side view looks like a what do you call that? The kind of a little not triangle, like a little teal line like this. Okay. And if you already at this point, add ear. Just do one side first and then we duplicate it and mirror it. So you might need to do on the left side because of zebras using left and then mirror it to the right. So I'm gonna use cylinder because it has a little round on the side. So I'm gonna add under sub 2. Sorry, I'm gonna stop after we add the ear and let you finish it up, and then we come back on Thursday, we touch up and talk more about each detail of the eyes, nose, and mouth. We might have to continue next week also, and then that will be the last lecture the rest of the week until the due date will be work section. I will help you guys. Okay, so next week we might end up 2 sessions again to do lecture, because it depends on how fast we could go on the mouth shape, eyelids, nose, and ear. Okay. So let me insert cylindrical, and I'm gonna read that on mesh right away. Okay, and you might, I think I should reduce a little bit. Let's do 100. ZBrush change to 104. Oops. Don't forget to turn on a how did I symmetry. Scale it, and I want you to, on the ear, you're gonna rotate like this. You want the top part to be on the side. You can hold Shift key when you rotate. Start it to rotate first, and then hold Shift key. Build it on the left side so that we can mirror it. When it mirror, it will mirror to the right side. Oops. You might need to turn off when you, hey guys, when I am on scale 2, after I change my orientation, can you see I have another symmetry right there, and that shifting the center as a scaling pivot. So I have to turn it off for now, and you can hold Alt key so that unlock this and then reset to home. Oh no, sorry. Reset to the center of the object. Here we go. So I'm going to scale it. Let me scale uniformly first. Make it thinner. Okay. And the position of the ear is basically, the starting point is the center of back side of the head and the brow. The parietal bone on the back side right here, and then frontal or brow. So it's about halfway. So I'm gonna just leave it like this. There we go, and then Q. Oh, move. Now, when you move it, I like you to rotate like this a little bit. Can you see? Look like this, a little. Now some people, I think my ear is really wide, like it's really angled. when you look at on the font, can you see it look like this? Just a little bit. Okay. So, and I might need to thin it out a little bit more. For now, and I'm gonna move now. When you move, basically you need to look at on reference a little bit how the shape look like, so that you can start it to kind of roughly sculpting. There we go. It looked like this. We are really familiar with the ears anyway, so that might be not too difficult. And just remember the end of the jaw. If you touch your jaw, you will see they are right here, right around the beginning of the attached ear to the head. So it means I'm gonna have to move the jaw a little bit in, and just it will gonna look a little bit awkward if you, because we don't have a neck. So, but this is it. And can you try to sculpt the bottom part of the jaw? Looks like a big bone of the skull, like this. I mean, the reason is so that when you add the neck, you will define this part of the jaw to make it look three-dimensional right here. So make sure you do like what I did, what I am doing. Like that. Can you see if we add the neck, when we do this angle, you need to show off this three-dimensional on the back side of the jaw. It has to show, otherwise it look kind of fake. And now the base of the ear though, that connect to the body, you can actually use another cylinder to attach, or you could sculpt it from here. That's totally up to you. I'm gonna use, see, you can do like this. So now, when I do like this though, can you see it's also moving the font side? How can we deal with this? Let me undo. Can you look at my screen? I can isolate this. Now, right now when I move, it also moves the other face on the other side. We can actually mask it. So under brush and sample under auto mask, right there. And auto back face mask, which is right here. Back face masking. So it means when I touch this side, it will not touch the back side of this face. So just one button right there under under brush, auto masking, back face masking. Okay. Now this will help you when you started to sculpt something that thin, so that you won't accidentally push, like if you pull this face, because there are two faces like this, right? So if you mask on the back side, when you move this side, it will not move the back side of that. So that's why I could get this. Okay. So, and in the future, I will show you how to use the Activate Sculptress Pro mode too. But for today, for now, just do simple. And read and mesh. There we go. Read and mesh. Now, when you're done, you might want to turn that back on, because sometimes you want them to move on the back side of the face also. Okay, here we go. So look like this. You need to have that part. is kind of the base of the ear. Oh, let me so low again. Can't see. And I'm gonna use inflate to help. There we go. Read that a notch. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop for today so that you kind of try to get the shape like this. Now, before I forget, let's duplicate this one. Duplicate the ear. I mean, you're gonna have to sculpt more on the ear. You don't have to, but if you want to see it, you can. Just select, duplicate, and then the new ear, I'm gonna go to deformation, mirror X. Click on it, it will, now you got two of them. So that will be today. Okay, let me save. And I'm gonna do screen capture so that we kind of use this as a documentation. Shift S. Yeah. Shift S. Okay, and then go to texture, grab, and then export JPEG. Number 3. Okay. Any help, guys? People who are online, are you doing okay? I hope you are not sleeping. I know it's kind of difficult sometimes when you are not in the present, not present, not in the actual location. Okay, I'm gonna stop record and I'm gonna help around.